Come on, don't be scared, homie.
Hey guys, MMA Leaks here. I'm just going to be doing a analysis slash predictions video for the upcoming fight card UFC Fight Night Japan, and I'm going to be just focusing on the main and the co-main events, just because there's not a whole lot of relevant matchups on the card, just like a lot of the cards out of Japan. So I'm just going to focus on those two and on the main event in this video, which is Josh Barnett versus Roy Nelson. Barnett is ranked 8th in the division, and Nelson is ranked 11th. Josh Barnett is 33-7 with 8 KOs, 20 submissions, and 4 wins by decision. He has a 78-inch reach, and he is 37 years old. Roy Nelson is ranked 11th. He is 21-11, 14 KOs, 4 submissions, 2 decision wins. 73-inch reach, and 39 years of age. So I think this is a pretty fun matchup, actually. Obviously, these guys are both a little bit out of their prime, but they're still basically both top 10 guys, real relevant guys, and maybe just a couple fights away from, possible contender, top contender, or title shot. So basically, so Barnett's last fight was 2013 when he fought Travis Brown, and so he's at almost a 2-year layoff, and that fight didn't go his way. He got basically wobbled on the feet, went in to try to recover and hold on against the cage, and Travis Brown started landing some nasty elbows into the temple and then stopped him there. But obviously Travis Brown's a beast, so that's don't take anything away from Barnett. But and then let's see, Nelson's last fight was a decision loss to Overeem, and basically Overeem just kind of like used a really safe strategy and kind of used his length, used his kicks, and just kind of stayed at distance and kind of picked him apart, used kicks and knees, just kind of slowed him down, and he kind of gassed like he does. So he just kind of coasted to a decision win there. So Nelson, basically, these days he's been using striking mostly, and mostly just kind of relying on his right hand. He's got a really heavy right hand, and he'll mix in some hooks and maybe a few kicks here and there, but he's basically just kind of relying on that right hand, and if he can't, finish the guy with his right, he's really doesn't have too many options of winning, really. He hasn't had good fights lately, and I think part of it is probably the element of surprise. When he first came up from the Ultimate Fighter, he was kind of, people I think weren't really aware that he had such a powerful right hand, because he was kind of known as a he was known as a jiu-jitsu guy. So I think he kind of caught guys off guard, but nowadays that people are expecting it, it just seems like, he doesn't really set it up well, so it seems like it's kind of difficult for him to land it. And it just seems like he's kind of slowing down a little bit with his movement, and just, obviously he can hurt guys, he can knock guys out. He's gotten knockouts over Nogueira, Mitrione, and Congo in the past, but he hasn't been looking good lately. His last couple fights, just kind of moving slow and kind of gassing out near the end of the rounds. So, but obviously, he has the potential to get a knockout if he can catch Barnett. And Barnett is he's a catch wrestler. He's a really well-rounded guy. He's got pretty good striking, especially in the clinch. He showed that against Frank Mir. He's got really good clinch work, and just a good pressure fighter at pushing guys up against the cage. He's good with submissions. He He's got a good arm triangle. He actually finished an arm triangle from mount. I believe that was a fight in Strikeforce, which it's not easy to do. So he's got a really good squeeze for his arm triangle. And obviously he's got weaknesses. He lost to Travis Brown, like I said, in his last one about 2 years ago, but I wouldn't take anything away from the guy. He maybe didn't use the best strategy when he wasn't backing off after Brown landed maybe 10 consecutive hard elbows to the temple. But I don't know, maybe at that point it was too late. But anyways, these guys actually have an opponent in common. They both fought Frank Mir. And when Mir fought Roy Nelson, he kind of just, just the usual of what's been happening with Roy Nelson lately, where he just kind of slows down as the rounds go on and just kind of gasses, and just kind of low output guy once the rounds start going on. He just kind of stands around and tries to recover so he can throw some bombs. But Barnett did well against him. He used the clinch, he pushed him up against the fence and just started landing some uppercuts, some elbows, and he finished him with a knee. So obviously Barnett has the advantage there. But really with this fight I see Barnett pressuring him, just coming forward, clinching him, getting him up against the fence. Obviously Nelson can land some hard rights on him and wobble him a bit, especially since Barnett kind of opens himself up for that a little bit. He kind of does this thing where he just rushes in and kind of sloppily grabs a clinch without really setting it up very well. So he's kind of like leaving himself open for strikes. But I don't know. I just don't see Nelson being able to really, he's going to be pressuring him probably the whole fight. So I just believe he's going to come forward, pressure him, get him against the cage, and start landing some shots and possibly get a takedown. And I believe Roy Nelson's going to start just wearing down as the rounds go on. Maybe the second or third rounds he's going to start gassing, and Barnett's going to get him down or just clinch him against the fence and start landing some uppercuts and elbows and knees. And I believe he's going to finish it with a TKO in the second or third round, or possibly with a submission if he wants to go to the ground, maybe an arm triangle or something like that. So that's my prediction. I'm going to be putting out the co-main event, Masasi versus Hall. And thanks for watching.